So, one of the big potential prospects for the 2022 calendar year in the UFC has got to be a little boy coming out of Liverpool, England, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. And I kind of just wanted to talk about him a little bit today and give my, let's say, interesting opinions on him. Because recently, I think it was when on Michael Bisping's podcast or like an interview or something, he got asked, "Hey, what are your goals for 2022?" And I did not like his answer at all. He kind of brushed past and was like, "Oh yeah, I'll be 3-0 in the UFC, and I'm going to be the most popular fighter, the biggest draw other than McGregor." His goals for the year is win 3 fights. Yeah, whatever. We'll brush past that. But his goals is to be more famous than other people, more popular, be a bigger draw. Okay, and then a while ago, I'm not sure how long it was, but maybe a few weeks or a few months, I'm not 100% sure, he also said that he won't fight like top 10 or even top 15 contenders for the money he's on right now because he deserves more money than that. Sounding like another unranked. Is he still unranked? No, O'Malley's ranked now, I think. But Sean O'Malley, it's sounding a lot like him. And if you know, I don't really like Sean O'Malley's approach to it either, and I don't like Paddy's approach to this either, as well, because it's kind of just saying, I want to skip past all the tough stuff of actually fighting, and I just want to make money and be famous. People can get behind that, but personally I don't really like that too much. And because he also said in that, when he was said that he wants to be the most popular fighter, is that a fight between him and McGregor would easily be the most pay-per-view sales ever. No. The big thing that I think people tend to forget is that although yes, McGregor did have a lot of hype when he was first coming through. Oh, my voice. McGregor did have a lot of hype coming through. He was very popular. A lot of people were already jumping on the hype train, yada yada yada. But he fought in huge fights, and that's when he elevated himself. That's when he became a true star. Him fighting Dennis Seaver would not have sold like 1.5 million pay-per-view sales like other people think he would. If you look at, although now he's a cemented star, he's earned that status, but when his biggest pay-per-views are in his biggest fights because he fought in big fights. And although I'm not the biggest fan of Conor McGregor nowadays, I was, but he's gone a very interesting approach nowadays. But, I lost my point. The thing about him, he fights in big fights. He fought Dustin Poirier recently twice, and those are huge fights. Dustin just went on and fought for the title. Like, it's not like he's fighting unranked fighters and saying, "Oh, I deserve all this money." No, he's earned his status. And back to Paddy Pimblett, because that's who we're talking about. I just feel like it feels a lot more like an entitled approach of, hey, every time I do anything or say anything, all these social media accounts post about me and this, that means I deserve everything. No, you've got to earn your status. And I just feel like that's something that he just hasn't done. Like, his first performance in the UFC, obviously it was super impressive. I loved watching that fight, but he got cracked in that fight, if you remember. He got cracked. So it's not like he's going to be fighting ranked contenders anytime soon, regardless. His standard's still going to be quite low in terms of UFC scale. And I just don't like it when people are like, hey, my goals is to be famous and make lots of money by fighting unranked fighters. It, it's just not as fun for as a fan to get behind, because I want to say big fights. When you look at the whole grand scheme of things, who are the most famous fighters? They're top ranked contenders. The only two fighters that you could say are famous unranked are Paddy Pimblett, because the UFC did not shut up about him for about 3 months, and then Sean O'Malley, who again the UFC still hasn't shut up about for about feels like 5 years or whatever, and I just don't like that. I can't get behind it personally, but I just want them to fight in big fights. And just one final thing I wanted to talk about, because there's confidence. Obviously, you have to have confidence, but Paddy, I forgot where I saw it, but he was got asked about after Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira, and he talked down to Charles so much. Like, he basically said like, oh, if Charles Oliveira, the leading submission, the record submission holder in the UFC, if Charles Oliveira can submit Dustin Poirier like that, I could do that easily. That's like talking down. That's like if he saw like, oh, if he saw me submit somebody, that's how he should be talking about it. Not someone who's this level, and when he's, even if he's very good in terms of UFC scale, he's not the best of all time, which Charles Oliveira is. It's there's confidence, and then there's just stupidity. So, hey, that's my opinion, and this was very rambly, and I think it went off topic a lot.